In this video, I'll be walking you through how to create a set of shared test steps that you could use throughout your tests in Reflect. And that'll be through a feature that we call segments. So here I have a test that I've already created. We can click the play button here to see the results of this test run. It's basically logging into the project management tool Linear and creating a new issue. And so if we were working at Linear and testing our application, probably a lot of our end-to-end tests are going to require logging in first before it does some sort of action. So login is usually where you want to start in terms of creating your first segment. So to create a segment here, what we're going to do is we're going to choose the test steps that we want to be shared across multiple tests. So that's going to be login all the way through navigating to the Linear page after we're authenticated. So I'm going to shift click on step 9 here, and you can see all of these steps are chosen. And then in this menu that appears, we can just click create segment, and I'll give it a name, Linear Login. So now that I've done that, you can see that the segment is created, and you can see on the left-hand side, it's in this new kind of indented section that we can collapse and expand. We'll need to make sure to save this test in order to save the update that created the segment. And now that we've done that, we can actually use this segment in a new test. So what I can do is I can go click create test here, and we'll call this another linear test. Probably would give it a better name. And then choose linear.app as the starting URL. And here we can choose a segment to choose from. And here I'm going to choose the linear login segment that I created just a minute ago. So now when I click begin recording here, what happens is Reflect doesn't start with just a fresh browser session. It starts with a fresh browser session and then logs me in. So this saves you some time when you're creating those feature tests. Once those login steps are completed, we'll have the ability to now record additional steps. So for example, I could go into views here and maybe do a visual validation for this section right here, save that. Now, if I wanted to add segments somewhere other than the beginning of the test, I can certainly do that. We can hover over the bottom of this last step here and click the plus button, and there's an option to insert a segment, which you can see here. When I click on insert segment, I get that same list of segments that I could choose from. So I'll go ahead and search for linear, and you can see that there's another option, verify linear user settings. So I'll click on that, and here we can see that those settings have now been added to the bottom of the test. So since we are now at the bottom of the test, we can choose to click on resume to see that happen. But we could also still record some additional updates if we wanted to. And you can see that those are added above this segment that we added. Once we're ready to actually see that segment in action, we can click resume and watch it actually run through all of those steps. And here in this segment that I previously created, it's just going to the profile section and verifying that it can see everything in the profile. So with segments, this is a great tool to make sure that your testing efforts scale. And as you create your tests, it's very easy to create segments, turn existing test steps into segments. But thank you for watching and happy testing.